Okay guys, in the last video I tagged the Tailfire, the light version. This is the dark version of it. Now, I'm just going to show you this. So I'll just tan it to show you it. So the hook in the vise is a size 10 partridge patriot double in black nickel. And everything else that's in the other video, it's in this fly, bar the top. All it changes the hackle at the top to make it a black cock or a black hen hackle. So we're going to put the butt on first. That's going to be a Glow Bright floss number 12. So we're just going to come in, get the floss started at the back of the hook, run on a few turns, remove the waist tag, keeping the floss tight, bring it up and in between the two hooks, and just work it back up to where you started off. Now, keeping the floss tight, just come in with your whip finishing tool and just do in a 3-turn whip finish. And then come in and trim away the floss. Now you got to protect that, so you can tie a half a dozen or so, varnish them, let them dry. But what I'm going to do is just use UV resin, just a wee tiny drop of UV resin onto the tag, or the hat tag at the back, and then we're just going to spread this around with my needle. So it's just to protect it. Then we'll come in with our torch and just set the resin. Just make sure it's well cured before you continue to tie the fly. Now, like I say, I tied the later version. It's on my channel there, if you want to go and check it out. So the thread we're going to use to tie the fly is Eany thread 801 black. So I'm just going to run through the wax here a wee bit. Then we're just going to come in and the eye of the hook and just run the thread down, right down till you meet the Glow Bright floss tag. Remove the waist piece. Now the tail, orange bucktail, hot orange bucktail. Got some off here, and usually want this about a length and a half to 2 lengths of the hook. So that's 2 lengths of the hook over the back. Just come around with a pinching loop, then a couple of turns to secure, and I'll just come in, trim the excess off in a bit of a tapered cut. In that you want to put 2 strands of pearl crystal flash, or flashaboo, pearl flashaboo, you can put that in as well. I'm just using the crystal flash, 2 strands. Just going to fold this back. Don't want them wee fibres coming back, so I'm just going to tie up over the top of this. Come in and trim that away. Now, just want to check the length of the flash. Okay, happy enough for that. Now, I'm just going to run my thread up. About the midway point, and then on the way back down I'm going to tie in the rib. That's a gold wire, just using the Ultra Wire in Gold from UTC. Any gold wire will do, you don't have to use that. Now, just going to catch this in underneath. A couple of turns, bring the wire underneath the hook, and then bring my thread back down, tied up against the tail. The body itself is going to be the silver and gold mylar tinsel in size 12. Now I have a length off here from the light version that I tied, so I'm going to use it. Now you need to tie this in if you're using the gold. Just tie it in with the silver side facing up, and then just run this down. Now we'll not get too worried about this, we'll sort these out in a minute. I'll just come around with our gold tinsel. I just want to make sure I've got a nice clean turn onto the tail and the Glow Bright floss tag, and then you're just looking 1 turn overlapping the other of the gold tinsel up to meet your thread. Bring over your thread, 1 turn to hold, a couple of turns will secure that in, and then we'll come in and remove the waist tag of the gold tinsel. Then we'll come up with our rib, and you're looking 3 turns of the gold wire to protect the body at the back. Fly this round, a couple of turns to secure it. Now, you know, they're cut if you've got designated scissors, but I just like to bend and break away the wire. I'm just going to put a lick of wax on here for the hackle. I'm going to bring my thread up a couple of mil and back down. Mid hackle, just a strong, dark, bright orange Chinese cock hackle or a hen hackle. You can use it. I'm just going to stroke back the fibres to reveal the tip. Just going to offer this up to the hook with a tip, turn to hold, another turn to secure. Then just come in and fold back your tip. Bring your thread back up over your tip and your hackle. Come in, break away the tip. Just going to come in with my scissors and run the scissors up the stem of the hackle. And then just one turn from the other. The turns are up to you. It's your fly. I usually put on 3. But it always depends on the quality of the hackle as well. Yeah, that's plenty there. Follow it around with my thread. One turn in to hold. A couple of turns to secure. I'm just going to come in and trim away the excess of the stem. Then I'm going to run my thread up, tying in the remainder of the bucktail. Now I'm just going to come in with my toothbrush here and just brush out the hackle. Then we're not looking too bad, looking alright. So on the way back down, the rib on the front body is a silver wire. This is just the UTC silver wire that I'm using. Whoop, get it around the right way, Scotty. There we go. So we're just going to tie this in underneath, much like we did with the gold. A couple of turns, get it in underneath, and then just run my thread back down, tied up against the mid hackle. The floss, the front, just black. It's just black uni floss. Spool there. This is just some of the materials that I've had from the last one, the light version that I tied. So I'm just going to pull that in the length of the body. Run the thread up. And just bring up your floss. Right. Just want to get a nice tight turn onto the mid hackle, so there's no gaps. Okay, and then just touching turns of the floss for the front body. Follow it across with your thread, a couple of turns to secure, come in, trim away the excess. Then we can bring up our rib, much like the rear body. 3 turns on the front body's plenty. Up there, follow it around with your thread, 1 turn to hold, a couple of tight turns to secure, then you can bend and break away the wire. Now, the wing, there's a wing at this part, just the same as the original. It's just grey squirrel tail dyed black. Now, you're not looking to go crazy, you just want a small pinch of the squirrel tail. Just trim that away from the tail. Remove any of the fluff, rubbish from the bottom. Now, you don't have to stack it, but I just like to stack the squirrel tail. All the tips are lined up in the stacker. Take them out. Right, you just want the tips of your, the way I like to tie it is the tips of the squirrel just coming past the bend of the hook. So I'm just going to come in and hold up my finger and thumb. Come in and take a measurement. Trim the excess away over my bin. Get the squirrel as close to the shank of the hook as possible. Come around with a pinching loop. Then nice tight turns now, just to hold the squirrel in position for you. Now, squirrel has a tendency to pull out. So the best thing to do here is either varnish, or in this case we drop a super glue onto the thread. And then I'm just going to take this down over the cut ends of the squirrel and back up again, nice and tight. Any excess you can just come in and wipe that away. Alright, now front hackle, you can use a black cock hackle, or in this case I'm going to use a black hen hackle for the front hackle. So I'm just going to come in, stroke back the fibres to reveal the tip, come around with a turn to hold, another turn to secure. I'm going to fold back the tip, just tie up over the tip and the hackle, come in and break away the tip, then just one turn in front of the other with the black hen hackle. Now with this being a hen hackle, I'm just going to put 2 turns in. That's going to be plenty for me. If you like your fly stressed a wee bit heavier, you put in more turns of hackle. It's up to you. To there. Now just follow this around with your thread, nice tight turn, and then come in and trim away the excess. Now I'm just going to put a lick of wax on the thread here, and I think it's going forward to stroke it back, bring the thread down to the eye and back up. Now that's the original pattern, the dark version. Just going to brush that out just so you can see it a wee bit better. So that's the dark version of the fly. Okay, that's the fly finished. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add jungle cock on. I have 2 wee eyes here. So they're just seeing the undersides, and I'm just going to stroke these back, the fibres. I'm just going to offer them up to the hook. Just going to fold them down onto the sides, around with a couple of loose turns to see how we're sitting. I just want to make sure that they're the same length and they're sitting nice for me. Let's get this one to come round. Okay, I'm happy enough with that, so I'm just going to hold the 2 eyes, take another couple of turns down to the eye. I'm going to get a wax on the thread. I'm going to fold these back, fold the stems of the jungle cock back, and then just bring my thread back up over the top of the stems, just creating my head nice and tight. Now if you keep your thread tight, you should be able to break these away. Look at a neater cut if you break them away, still keeping the thread tight. Just going to come in, throw in a whip finish, and then we'll come in and trim away the thread. Now, you don't need to put jungle cock on it, the pattern doesn't require it, but I just wanted to show you it with the jungle cock. So first coat onto the head, super glue, right, just onto the head. You don't want this going anywhere else. And then once that dries, I'll come in and put on a couple of coats of varnish just to seal up the super glue. But there you go, guys. So that's the dark version of the Tailfire. And if you haven't already checked it out on the channel, on my channel, you can go over and check it out, the light version. So listen, tie a few up, and hopefully they can catch you a few fish. Thanks for watching.